Alright, it has been a while since I've played a standard game of Pokemon, and a while since I've been in the NU tier. So I don't even know what's currently being ran in the NU tier, or what's meta. We're just gonna try to make this team work today. Now, one thing I do like to do when I run in the lower tiers, in just about every generation, is to make a Surf and Turf team. And Surf and Turf teams require a Tauros, or I guess you can run a Miltank if that's your cup of tea, but I like Tauros on Surf and Turf teams. And some kind of crab or other crustacean type thing. So we got Clawitzer here, and Clawitzer and Tauros is going to make the core of Surf and Turf. Here we've got just the standard Tauros that they run in NU, and this is going to be E-Belt Clawitzer. You can run heavy duty boots, or you can run Life Orb or Choice Specs. I don't personally like Choice Specs because even though it is powerful, especially in the NU tier, you've got Vaporeon and Mantine, which means that your water moves aren't looking too great, and Gastrodon now I suppose as well. And so generally, getting locked into a water move, which is what you want to be hitting, is more of trouble than I think is worth the Choice Specs for. And you don't want to run Life Orb just because you're going to get worn down. Unfortunately, Expert Belt has limited use cases, I feel, and so I don't know if that's really the best item, but it's just something we're going to slap on there and see what we get. And we're running Water Pulse because it is stronger than most other moves I think you can run on this. Right, you got that Mega Launcher boost, which means this goes from being 60 to being 90, and 90 is strongest Surf. And I believe, does it get Hydro Pump? Yeah, no, it doesn't even get Hydro Pump. So really, this is the strongest move you can get. And if it'll go back. Okay, now we've messed it up, huh? Okay, Water Pulse, there we go. That's unfortunate, now it's at the bottom, oh well. And then we've got Ice Beam for the grass types, of course, and Terrain Pulse is going to be an electric terrain specifically, because even though grass is terrain I think would be better, I'm not really trying to use the Thwackey on this team. So this will cover Mantine and Vaporeon to some extent, and Terrain Pulse is sort of one of the better reasons to use Clawitzer. Now you could run Dark Pulse on this set, but I don't really know what that hits in this tier that you couldn't just hit stronger with your Water Pulse with. And then we got U-Turn here. Now Clawitzer does get Flip Turn, which is really cool, but again we've got all those water absorb Pokemon down here, so I think it's better to just have U-Turn and get out of there to get into a more scary Pokemon. And we do have scary Pokemon on this team. Next up, we've got the Silvally Ground. Silvally Ground is running Flame Charge over Rock Slide. I don't think this team struggles too much with Talonflame, and I think I want to get more speed on this team is what I really want. Even though this team does have decently speedy Pokemon like Zoroark and Tauros, I still want to have this be another speedy Pokemon so I can get a late game sweep with Swords Dance and multi-attack. And so Flame Charge is here for that. And then we got U-Turn as well on this. Could run Parting Shot, maybe that would be another option. Zoroark here is going to be Choice Scarfed. That gives us a very good speed tier. I'm running U-Turn because most of the time we want to scout. Maybe I'm facing against a team with a Passimian. Passimian will be Choice Scarfed. I want to get out of there first before they do. And Pokemon like that sort of messes up this team a lot, except for the Mantine. So I really need to have a plan on deck for that. And speaking of Passimian specifically, that's why we have Extra Sensory here. Most Zoroark I feel like run either Sludge Bomb or even maybe the Sucker Punch in the last slot or Trick. But Sludge Bomb I didn't really know what that would hit in this tier, that I wouldn't rather just hit with Flamethrower or Dark Pulse. The Extra Sensory specifically allows me to do a lot of damage to Passimian, and after a Spike or a bit of Chip, I should be able to take it out relatively easily. And other fighting types, which are pretty prevalent down here. Maybe I won't like that, we'll see. Mantine is up next. We've got the standard defensive spread. Again, don't know what this hits, but it's what they give you. So we're going to go with it. The Air Slash course for those grass types. Could run Toxic for Vaporeon, but Vaporeon runs Steel Bell, and so that's not really something you're going to get a lot of value out. Whereas the Air Slash does allow you to hit grass types like Vileplume and things like that. And Vileplume does give this team some amount of trouble. so we want to have that on there. And finally, we got Pincurchin. Originally, I had Terrain Extender on this Pincurchin to just give me extra turns of electric terrain, and I still could see a world where that would be a good item, but if it's just for Terrain Pulse, I feel like I'd get more out of this Pincurchin generally if I ran leftovers. I was just going to run a special set here with Discharge Scald, and then we've got Spikes because that is going to be our hazards on this team, and then we've got Memento in the last slot. Don't really have too much that can set up besides Stilvali, but it could still be useful in a late game scenario, or even in a game where Stilvali Ground just sweeps right from the get, in which case we'll go for that. Anyway, let's see if we can find a game here and see how this team goes. Oh wow, okay, so we got a game pretty quickly, and my opponent's team, they do have a Rotom, and so that's going to be somewhat problematic because this team is somewhat Rotom weak, right? But that is something we were aware of, and that's why we run the Zoroark. And then I want to disguise the Zoroark not as a Pincurchin, because that would be a really bad idea. I want to disguise it as something that will invite in the Weezing. So I'm going to disguise it as the Tauros, I think. Okay. We got Snorlax right off the bat. And I'm going to go into I'm going to go into my Pincurchin here. I am max defense here. And we can see that I did invite in the Weezing. So that is good. That's what I wanted my opponent to do. So good on me for that. Okay. This is of course a problem here. And I don't really have anything for it necessarily, but I can always Scald it. And I do immediately get the burn, which is nice. And now they're going to Volt Switch here. And I don't really have too much for it. So I'm going to go until Stilvali, I think. They could predict that, I suppose, as the Defog. Now I can U-turn out here. They're no longer Choice Scarf, so I'm fine with that. I'm going to go into Clawitzer. And it looks like I've lost my U-turn, but nothing doing about that. I'm going to double into Pincurchin here, as they do go into their Vaporeon, which is what I was hoping they would do. Now they could go into their Stunfisk, but that's not really a problem for me. They go for Leaf Storm there. I'm going to go into my Stilvali now. I think it's relatively safe, as they do Volt Switch again there. And now I'm going to U-turn again. They go back into the Weezing. And this time I'm going to go into the Clawitzer again. And here is where that Terrain Extender would have been nice, wouldn't it have been? Although I got tricked, so it doesn't really do anything for me either way. Alright, I'm going to go for Water Pulse this time. They do go into Vaporeon. That's fair. I go into my Mantine. They can't touch me. And this allows me to Air Slash. Okay. I'm going to go into my Tauros here. And I'm just going to click Close Combat. We're not messing around with the Snorlax. And this won't do that much damage. But I don't want to lose to the Snorlax, right? And click Body Slam here. Because I don't take a Life Orb Recoil from the Body Slam, right? That's what I'm thinking there. And then here, I'm going to go for Close Combat. They should know that, and they should switch into Weezing. But again, I don't really feel like losing to a Snorlax today. So, we'll see if they stay in. Nice, they do. Okay, good. So they lose their Snorlax, and I lose my Tauros, and I think that's an okay trade. That was one of the faster mons on my team, so we'll have to just live with that. I'm going to Stilvali, it's pretty safe. And I'm going to go for the... Here they are. We'll Levitate, I suppose. I'm going to just click U-turn here, as to actually predict that and stay in. But I don't really know what that could do. I can just click Defog here. Okay, and you can paralyze me. That is annoying. But I can click Scald here, as they actually risk the burn on their Stunfisk. I suppose they have the Heal Bell on the Vaporeon, so maybe they don't care about that kind of thing. I'm gonna go into Pincurchin here. I don't really care about that. I'm gonna click U-turn again with my Silvally. The Rotom is slowly getting weakened as my Silvally is as well, but that's okay. I don't actually know what the Zoroark is going to disguise as at this point. I'm going to go into the Clawitzer, because now I have my electric terrain up, right? That's what we're going for here. As they do predict that, but unfortunately for them, they're electric type, so that doesn't really get you much. I'm going to click Water Pulse here, and then I'm going to click Terrain Pulse again, and they lose the Vaporeon. So that frees up my Water type, which is really good. At this point, I don't really feel like, do I need Mantine? Mantine is good so I don't lose to Stunfisk. I don't know, I think the Mantine can go. I'm gonna defog here. I don't even know if Volt Switch will kill me. Yeah, I didn't see. And I'd rather get defog off, if I can, than to get off something else. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go into Zoroark now, as it does disguise as Clawitzer, which is fine by me. I'm going to go for the, well, let's see here. What would you go into? You go into Rotom if you're expecting a Water Pulse, right? You go into that. So if we go for Rotom, go down to Rotom, and you Choice Scarf, except for we know it's not Choice Scarf anymore, right? Now, Flamethrower kills and Dark Pulse does 50%. So I think Flamethrower isn't a bad play, as they scout and sack their Stunfisk. Okay, so they obviously know that this is not the Clawitzer, which is fine. I'm actually going to sack my Clawitzer here, as they go for a Sludge Bomb that does a lot of damage. I'm going to go into my Silvally, and I'm going to U-turn out again. Okay, that actually killed me there. Maybe a bit of a misplay. Let's see how much Extra Sensory does. Does a lot, and I get knocked off there, which is sort of interesting. If I had Sucker Punch here, they would have actually lost. If I'd gotten the flinch as well, they would have lost, but I'm not going to wish for that. That seems a bit cheesy to wish for. But it was my win con, I think. Get that flinch there. If I were going for the flinch, I suppose, then I would needed to have gone for Dark Pulse, because that's a higher chance, right? Yep. Salazzle, were they? Well, I guess I can just choose any of these. Aria Wall Breaker, I don't know. Extra Sensory did have a chance to kill, so I didn't get that roll either. I had a 30% chance to OHKO. Oh well, that's unfortunate. Okay, let's get another one. Okay, here we've got a Aerodactyl, probably a lead set. I'm going to lead off with Zoroark, and then I'm going to disguise it once again as Silvally. Oh wait, back. Okay. Lead off with Zoroark, and I want to disguise it as the Silvally. Silvally should scare out the Toxicroak, which will be a problem, right? And invite in the Serena, which is less of a problem. Okay. Here I can just click U-turn, and they'll now know that I am Zoroark disguised as Silvally, right? This immediately gives it away. I think that's fine. Okay, also I forgot to put U-turn back on Clawitzer, so that's a bit sad. Okay, I'm gonna defog here. Actually, I'm gonna Scald first. Okay, see how they do that, and I'm gonna Air Slash. They might say they're Aerodactyl. I mean, I don't feel like you should. I think Air Slash kills Arrow from this range. It's pretty weak. Apparently it does not. So that's my bad. while we're here and thinking about it. Put U-turn back on this. Up. Gonna go back into Zoroark. Gonna click U-turn again. They should just sack this at this point. I mean, it has a good speed tier, that is true, but I don't know what else you get out of it. I'm gonna go into the actually I don't know what to do against Gastrodon with this team. I guess that would be one thing it would be nice to have Toxic on Mantine for. Let's see if it's physically defensive. I don't know actually what they would run in this tier. Tauros. Okay, well, let's see how much this does. They don't really have too much that wants to take body slams, and they are sort of low. And this is sheer force boosted, so it's not going to have a paralysis chance. But I wouldn't really need that anyway, because the paralysis just means that they get maybe full paralyzed. That's about it. They actually elect to Toxic instead of Scalding, which is sort of interesting because I'm an offensive Pokemon, and it seems like either recovering to make sure you're added to a KO range or going for Scald would be better, but what do I know? Okay, they sacked the Aerodactyl, which I will definitely take. And I still do have Kingdra, and that is a problem. But, yeah. Now, it's funny, I could have Earthquake. I guess they could have Vacuum Wave. Maybe that's what they're thinking. I don't know. Do I need this still? Gastrodon's low. Arcanine is not really an issue against this team. Well, let's see how much the Vacuum Wave will do. Does 70%. Well, I'm gonna go for Body Slam, as they are a Choice Scarf, I see. Okay, well that's fine. I'm going to go into Silvally, and I'm going to click the Sword Stance. That'll help us break Gastrodon. If they go for Scarf Drain Punch, that's probably a bit of an issue. But I feel like I'm a ground type, and you should be scared of that. And so you should probably go into Serena here. It's just a thought. Let's actually go Gastrodon here. Okay. So I'll get rid of the Gastrodon. That's fine. I think this allows us to prevent Kingdra from setting up. This should go into Serena, which will die to +2 U-turn, but not Flame Charge. If they go back into Toxicroak, now I can just Flame Charge, and I think that'll be fine. Going back to Toxicroak, frankly, would be the best case scenario, but I really doubt that's going to happen. Okay. Yeah, they do go Kingdra. I'm just going to click the multi-attack. I don't want them setting up a Rain Dance. Okay, so they go Arcanine here. I'm actually going to click the Flame Charge here. I guess they could have Will-O-Wisp. It's a bit annoying. That's Speed Tie. I'd rather win the Speed Tie and get them dead, I think. I think that's the more valuable option out of this. Because I can deal with the Serena by U-turning into something to sack it, and then going Zoroark, right? So once Arcanine is dead, that's fantastic. Now they go back into Toxicroak, actually. So now I'm going to click Flame Charge again, because now I'll outspeed them the next turn. So that's good. And actually, okay, that did not do enough to a KO. So I'm going to sword stance up, because now what I can do is I can multi-attack, and now I'll be strong enough to U-turn out and kill the Serena. Okay, there we go. Well, that was somewhat of a messy end game, I think, but we got it done. And we should have all of our moves back on the Clawitzer. Hopefully that is the case. After this video, I'm going to have to remember to go back and fix that up. Did I get them all in there? Yes, I did. Thank goodness. Okay, we got the Talonflame. Got the Xatu. This is probably going to be lead for us last. Going to lead off with Zoroark. It's sort of a new play, I feel like, to lead off with Zoroark. I'm going to disguise this as Tauros this time. Yeah. But now you're going to think, oh, I got this normal type. It shouldn't be able to do too much. I'm going to go for Dark Pulse. Obviously revealing my set. But they actually get the flinch. And that's sort of what we wanted to see. Now they don't get any hazards up. And they can't Destiny Bond or anything like that either. So a very good start for us. As they do go into Snorlax, which is a good play on their part. I'm going to go into Silvally here. And I'm going to Sword Stance up. I feel like they probably will go for the Body Slam para. But they could also go maybe into Talonflame. I just need to get off as much damage as I can on the Snorlax. Now, of course, they could switch out this turn. And I think they probably should. And probably will. So maybe it would have been better to go for the chip. But now I'm actually an immediate threat. I think that's the difference. Whereas if I had just multi-attacked, then they could have just rested up on me or cursed some more. And I just really want to get the Snorlax out of here. Not having a fighting type is sort of a sad thing. Okay, yeah, they do go Talonflame. That is good. That is what you should do. And now they should U-turn here, I feel, personally. I'm going to click U-turn again. Okay, they click Acrobatics. That's fine. I'm going to go into Pincurchin now. And I'm going to click Scald. Because they could go into Xatu, predicting the spike or something. Be sort of a whack play, but they could do it. They could go into Snorlax to try to get off a curse again. But I thought they might go into Silvally Ground. So that was really a dumb play on their part, in my opinion. I'm going to go into Mantine here. As now I can click Scald here again. And now they can't even hit me with their stab move. If they have Rock Slide, they can go for that. That's true. And they get the flinch. Gonna have to roost it off. As they get a miss, so that's a bit of justice there. And now they lost Silvally Ground. So the Mantine still deals with Talonflame. Talonflame is not an issue, in my opinion. The Snorlax is the issue, and the Tyrantrum is the issue. If I can get the burn on the Tyrantrum as it comes in, then that'd be a good thing. If I don't get the burn, then we've got a bit of an issue. As I do get the burn, but they're Lumberry, so there's that. Now if I dodge, okay, that works too, I suppose. Okay, so they are +1 on 265. Obviously I'm Choice Scarf, so now I can just click the Dark Pulse again. And they should know that I'm Choice Scarfed Zoroark on the Tauros set, because I outsped their Frostlass, which I don't think I naturally do. Okay, I'm going to go hard Tauros now. And I'm going to click the Body Slam. Because I don't want to drop my defense. As I actually get a nasty crit there. I mean, they get some luck there too, because they got the para. But getting rid of the Snorlax is all I need to win the game at this point. And now it's GG. Unless I'm missing something. Because the Xatu, unless it's like some weird cosmic power set, is fine. And the Talonflame has to contend with water type and an electric type in the back. I'm going to click Throat Chop, as they are cosmic power. So that's a bit of a problem. I'm going to go into Pincurchin. And I'm going to click... I'm going to click... Okay, it's not... I'm glad I told you that. Okay. I'm glad they tell you that can't be magic bounced. Because that would have been sort of sad to have killed myself for nothing. Okay. I'm going to click the Memento here. And that gets rid of some of their boosts, right? Time to just click Dark Pulse a whole bunch, because that's all I can do. What do you have for a Dark type is the question. Are they just planning on PP stalling? They might just be planning on PP stalling. Because I actually don't know what this Xatu would run. Cosmic Power, Restored Power, Air Slash. Something Dazzling Gleam. Okay. Well, that's annoying. Okay. Throat Chop. They're definitely gonna outspeed me. And they'll just Stored Power probably this turn. Yep, as they do. Okay. So now at this point I have to hope I get a crit or I get a flinch and I don't. So that's unfortunate. Okay, so they were the Cosmic Power set that I thought they might be, but I don't really know how else I should have played against that, other than not get paralyzed with the Tauros in the beginning. Okay. What do we got here on this? We got Lead Scyther maybe? I really don't know what they are doing with this team. It's a very interesting team, very fun team. I like their team. Now, of course, one thing I do note is that I have this Jolteon. I do have Silvally, but it's not immediately apparent, so they may want to lead off with it. I'm going to lead off with Silvally here. I'm going to disguise the Zoroark as something that would want Espeon to come in on it. Mantine, sure, why not? I don't know if that's the correct play, but we'll see. Okay, yeah, I thought they might want to lead Jolteon there. Okay, I'm just going to click the... Well, you know what? Well, I don't know how I feel about that play. I'm going to click the Sword Stance up as they actually protect, which is sort of a weird play, as I get to Flame Charge the Scyther and Flame Charge again. And I actually think their team might just lose to this, which is why I clicked Sword Stance. Okay, Focus Sash. I mean, this is not Snow Warning, right? So follow my logic here. Snow Warning sets what you usually should run. They're running Refrigerate, which tells me they might be choice specs. That's what I would feel, at least. What the heck is their name again? Auroras? Good. Okay, I can't spell. Okay, there we go. How is that for fun? Okay, multi-attack at neutral kills. And this is Refrigerate, and they're running Power Herb on that. Okay, I'm just going to click multi-attack. I mean, they could be Focus Sash, but I really don't think they are. But yeah, this team just gets completely swept by this Silvally at this point. I'm just going to click multi-attack again, and yeah, they know they lose. Okay. They had a really fun-looking team, right? Lots of mons you don't see, but since they decide to protect against my Sword Stance and then immediately sack their Scyther, they just lost on the spot. Okay. Here we're going to lead off with the Zoroark again and disguising it as a Tauros. That way they stay with their Frostlass, as we may get the Dark Pulse flinch again, but we shouldn't count on it, as they get the Cursed Body and a Spike. So that's unfortunate. Okay, I'm going to go into Pincurchin now. I'm going to set up a Spike. Calm Mind, that's pretty scary. Hit the Discharge on you. See if I can get a Paralysis. The Spike is important just so their Frostlass dies. Of course, having that sack is always the main thing you'd want. I'm not especially defensive, I'm just max HP Fizz Def. So I don't really think I'm going to take this well. But I'm hoping I can get the Paralysis or something. Is the main thing I'm hoping here. Then I can go into Tauros and click Iron Hit after that. And Tauros against Sylveon. Sure, why not? Does Ocut, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why they're trying to set up like this. I don't really care. I guess I could save this for a Shell Smash Blastoise. So maybe I should sack something else. Like my Clawitzer. Yeah, great. Good, and after all that, we're just gonna Iron Head you. Unless you're running like a max HP set, which I guess they could be. Then this shouldn't matter. Right, because this does quite a lot. They're max HP, then it's a roll. Okay, and they were max HP. But now we can just go into the Silvally and click the multi-attack. And of course they can always go into their Xatu or sack their Frostlass and then come back in. But they're super low at this point. Yep, and they sack their Frostlass. Okay, now this doesn't allow the Toxicroak to come in. The Blastoise may want to come in. What I thought. Okay. Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna have to click multi-attack. Does put them in torrent range. Is a bit of a problem. I'm gonna go into the Mantine, click Air Slash. I'm gonna have to go for a Dark Pulse Flinch as to get it, which is annoying. But that is sort of what Mantine is on the team here for. It's to beat down the Blastoise. Okay, there we go. Mantine did its job at the end of the day. So that's fine. Now they're probably going to go back into the Sylveon, I should think. And this will be that one time where having Sludge Bomb would have been real nice on the Zoroark, right? I wonder though, if they had max HP, would they have invested into speed? Are they max speed? Are they running timid? I don't think you would be, since they took that really well. So I'm just going to Scald here. And now they have to click the Rock Slide. I feel. Right, they have to click Rock Slide, yep. I'm gonna go into Zoroark, which is obviously Zoroark. Nobody's falling for this. I'm gonna go for Dark Pulse. And that kills you. I'm gonna go for Dark Pulse again, because I really don't want to switch out. Okay. And so that's the game, I think. Yeah. Okay. I want to get one more win with this team against a player who actually knows what they're doing. That might be nice. One thing I'm noticing about this team is that it's very specially offensive, not physically offensive, and that's really coming in as a problem against a lot of these Pokemon. They keep wanting to have physical attackers. Okay, I'm gonna lead off with the Zoroark. No, actually, I'm gonna lead off with the Mantine, I think. And then I want to disguise the Zoroark as a Tauros, I think. Okay. I'm gonna Air Slash here. It's pretty free. As they knock me off, that's fine. I'm gonna click the Scald here. They may want to go into their Aerodactyl to try to set up rocks. As they decide not to. Whatever, man, I don't get that, but sure, fine. Maybe they're not a lead Aerodactyl and I'm playing around that wrong. Okay. I'm gonna click the multi-attack because it seems like they're just sacking them a champ. I'm not too fussed about losing the Mantine because, like, what was it doing against this kind of team? Not really sure. U-turn here. I know I'm risking a bunch of stuff, but I think that's sort of the best play. Okay, as they click the Giga Drain, I'm just going to click the U-turn. I don't think there's any way you stay in, as apparently I was wrong on that point. Okay, I'm just gonna have to start clicking up spikes. I'm gonna start spike stacking. Hopefully that gets us somewhere in this game, because I don't really know what else to do against this guy. Just stays in with all his Pokemon. Doesn't care. Okay, and now I'm gonna click the discharge. I can get a paralysis on this. It should help a bit. As I do actually get a paralysis on this. Now I'm gonna click Memento. I think I'll still be slower than this, but you never know what you can get. Okay. And now I'm going to go into Silvally, and I'm going to click the Swords Dance. At this point, I just have to hope I can overpower this. Yeah. Since it's -2 special attack, I don't know how much I'll take from Giga Drain. It probably won't be a ton, though. And now I can click the multi-attack, +3. And this is physically defensive, but it should do quite a lot. Okay. Swords Dance up again. Because apparently that wasn't enough. There's the Giga Drain there. Okay. So that was a problem on my part. I guess I should have gone Clawitzer this turn, huh? That would have been the smarter play. Okay, they're going to Strength Sap, so that's fine. But let's go Clawitzer here and not be dumb. I forgot they were paralyzed. As they infestate this turn, I thought that would be a good idea. Okay, I'm going to click Ice Beam here. Now, unfortunately, I did lose my terrain, but what are you going to do? Okay, click Ice Beam again. No, watch them go Arcanine this turn, but this guy just likes to stay in. Which isn't, you know, always the worst idea. Clearly, it's throwing me for a loop. Okay, I'm going to click Water Pulse here, as that does not very much. Going to click the U-turn here. Actually, no, I'm just going to stay in, because I don't want to sack something. Okay, I'm going to go Tauros here hard, so I think they'll protect here for sure. I'm going to click Iron Head, as apparently that was not something that crossed my opponent's mind. Was protecting. Okay. And now at this point, I can just go back into Clawitzer, click the Water Pulse again. So at this point, I've basically lost as well. But it is what it is. Gonna click any move and it'll kill. And any move will kill this as well. But we can always pray for a series of increasingly nonsense flinches, which we don't get. Okay. So I guess I'm low enough on the ladder that I should just be clicking what's in front of me and not predicting my opponents to be good. Alright. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, okay, we're playing against people who don't know what they're doing. We'll lead off with Zoroark, because I think they will lead off with Rotom against me. And I'm going to disguise it as a Mantine. That way they're inclined to Volt Switch this turn, because Volt Switch will be very free. So I'm going to click U-turn here. I'm going to go into my Silvally. And now I'm going to U-turn again. If I U-turn out first, then I'll know they're not Choice Scarfed. If they go into Vaporeon, then I know they are Choice Scarfed. I'm going to Pincurchin now. I'm going to set up a Spike. There's no way you stay in. Stack Attack is fine. I'm going to go for Scald. Then this weekend will be nice. So go for Body Press there. Which I don't know how I feel about that. I'm going to go into my Mantine now. So they go into Silvally Ground. That's actually really good for me because I can just click Scald again for free. They could U-turn to their Vaporeon, which is fine by me. They go into their Rotom Mo. Okay. I'm gonna go into my Pincurchin here. Yeah, as they Leaf Storm, that's fine by me. Okay, so at this point, I can go into my... What do I go into here? I'm gonna go into the Silvally and click the Plane charge. They could stay in as they do. You turn out now because I'm faster, and there goes the Rotom. Okay. Obviously, the Silvally is still good to have around for the stack Attacka, and I guess for their own Silvally ground. But as long as I have Mantine, neither of those I don't think will cause too much of a problem. Although this does have Scary Rock moves, so I have to watch out for that. Okay. I'm going to go into the Clawitzer. I think its only role really is going to be to lure Vaporeon, or to take out the stack attack or Silvally, which I don't think they would do. Yeah, so here, because while I still have Terrain Pulse, I got to get that off. So now the Terrain doesn't matter if it sticks around or not. Okay, good. So that did what it was supposed to do. Now I'm going to click the Terrain Pulse, as they are... Now that might be Banded Power Whip, I don't know exactly what we're dealing with there. Gonna go into this and click Iron Head. Iron Head, of course, if you're used to the tier, is pretty obvious. And click Close Combat now. They could have doubled there into Weezing, but they did not. Now they're going to Weezing, and the Weezing should be somewhat dealt with this. They missed the Will-O-Wisp, that's unfortunate. But now they don't know. Well, I guess they do know, just if they'd paid attention, that I am not Mantine. There's a Grimmsnarl again. I'm okay with that. That's nothing problem for me. I don't want to stay in though. They should go for like what, Play Rough or something. I'm actually gonna go sack my Silvally here, yeah. As they do go for Play Rough. I'm gonna go into Tauros again. I feel like you should go Weezing here. Okay, apparently Body Slam takes it out too. And I just stay in and keep clicking this move. I think it's a pretty good move to click, right? Yep. And that'll be GG. Okay. I won my game, but I want to get up above the 1200s. So we're going to get another one. We're going to get another one. Maybe I'll regret that after I get this one. There's obviously a suspect test going on, so I think that a lot of the scarier players are on the ladder, playing with their suspect ready teams, and I'm just here trying to have fun with Clawitzer and Pincurchin and Zoroark, but other people have different plans for the ladder. Oh well. Okay. So this is a pretty serious looking team. They once again have a Rotom. I'm going to lead off with the Zoroark and disguise it as a... I'm going to disguise it as a Mantine. Okay. Once again, that whole point is so that they go into something like this. They'll be more likely to click the... I don't know what I'm trying to say. Okay. I'm going to go into Pincurchin here. I don't want to reveal my set, and they're obviously going to U-turn there. So this is fine. I'm going to let Mudstill come in. I'm going to just click Scald here. I am max defense. I don't think Earthquake should one-shot me. Mudstill is pretty weak usually. And they predict me to go into my Mantine, which is fair enough. I'm going to go my Mantine now. They go for Rock Slide again. That's a pretty strong Rock Slide, my guy. Okay, I got the burn. I'm going to click the Roost. I actually get a lucky dodge there. That was a pretty bad turn for my opponent. But what are you going to do? Okay. I'm going to click the Roost here. Okay, so they are Nasty Plot. They are not the other set. I'm going to sack the Pincurchin here. As they leave Storm, as well they should. I'm going to go into my Silvally, since I know they're not going to one-shot me, and just click U-turn here. As they sack their Mudstill, as they should. That's good. I'm going to go into my Tauros. I feel like Tauros invites in the bird, probably Talonflame. As it invites in Diancie. Is this bait? I feel like this is bait. As apparently it is not bait, they just don't know about Iron Head. or something. Okay. At this point, Body Slam will not to a KO because they got that defense boost from Diamond Storm. So I'm forced to go for Iron Head again. As once again, they should still go into Talonflame. There we go, they finally figured that out. And I'll just sack this because it got burned. So if I had Iron Head right at the beginning, they would have just gotten one shot, but I figured it was so obvious that it had to be them baiting me, right? Okay, I'm going to U-turn again. As they should go into the Talonflame, try to get the Flame Body on me, I feel. But they don't. They choose to go for something else. I'm going to sack my Mantine here. As they miss the Leaf Storm. Just going to quick Air Slash here. That actually doesn't kill me in one hit. And now something has to come in and take a move. As they sack their Diancie, in theory. I'm actually going to I'll just click Scald. If this is not max speed Tim, which it shouldn't be, it'll die. Okay. So that's one fewer sack for them. As they should just go back into Rotom now. Although maybe not, I don't know. Maybe go into... Yeah, this will do too. Hopefully this isn't like some max Spadef sub acupressure set. Okay, good. Okay, I'm going to Silvally here. I'm going to click the Clawitzer here. It's a bit of a risky double here. But yeah, I figured Talonflame was always coming out there. Now I'm going to click the Ice Beam, as I feel like Rotom would come out. I could be wrong and the Starmie will come out, as I am wrong. But what are you going to do? As that is a teleport, I believe. I'm going to Zoroark. Yep, as now I show Silvally again. And I don't know which one this is, yeah. So at this point, if we look at Zoroark, or I should have just imported this, huh? Dark Pulse does 55% max, so that's out of range. But I can 2-hit KO it, so I think I will. This is always going to U-turn though. Yep. And now they're going to go into Drapion, which is fine if that's what they want to do. I sort of need this for its speed tier, I feel. So I'm actually going to go hard into Silvally. Maybe I should sack the Clawitzer. That might be a better play. In fact, I think I will sack the Clawitzer. Because I need fast Pokemon to outspeed this and to pressure them in the back. Okay, I'm going to slow U-turn off here. I'm going to go into my actual Silvally. I was just going to click the multi-attack. We can get off damage on this. Well, that's damage right there, I tell you what. That is damage. Then I think we'll be fine. Okay, gonna U-turn here again. They can't pain split this back. Should be fine. They might be baiting me to go for U-turn so they can go into Talonflame and try to get the Flame Body. But I don't really view that as a winning play because I'm gonna U-turn into a very fast Zoroark with Dark Pulse, which I think just wins the game right here. Okay, yeah. So I'm pretty satisfied with how this game went. I think there were a couple of questionable plays on my opponent's part, like staying in with the Diancie, or even going in with the Diancie against my Tauros. Like that's not respecting Iron Head. But if they don't know that they're running Iron Head, or maybe that's not what currently is quote-unquote optimal, then maybe they were thinking that I'd be better or something. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. How am I supposed to know what's in my opponent's head? Clearly that was a very scary team. Another one I don't think they should have done. I don't think they should have teleported with Starmie. I think they should have just attacked. That would have definitely been a better play on their part. And yeah, for me, I think that maybe I could have made a couple better plays with my Mantine. I think the Mantine was not played optimally, although I'm not exactly sure what to do there. Pincurchin obviously is not great on this team, right? The only reason Pincurchin is on this team is for the Vaporeon, otherwise it's not really doing anything. Of course, electric spam teams are scary, or psychic spam teams. Those are scary, right? You run into those Sceptile, Indeedee, Pincurchin, Raichu teams. Those are really scary. But overall, I think you need to have something a little more threatening than just one Terrain Pulse on a Clawitzer, which isn't even a good Pokemon to begin with. I think that you need to have something better for Pincurchin to actually put in value on this team. But the point of this team was to be a Surf and Turf team, and not only does the Turf part or the Surf part need to have a little bit of a boost to deal with Vaporeon and Mantine in this tier, but Pincurchin also sort of fits the Surf and Turf theme, so I thought it was somewhat appropriate. And Mantine does as well because it's surfing Mantine. And so yeah, I don't think this team is particularly strong, but it's sort of fun still. And so I'll leave it, of course, as always, in the description, and you can try it out and see what improvements you guys can make. Anyway, that's all for me today. I'll catch you guys next time.